Hi everyone, just digging around in Zoho Forms for a little project I'm working on, and I noticed that there's some new fields added this morning. So pretty basic one, divider. So it does what it says on the tin, just adds a dividing line, which is just a nice user experience for people filling out the forms. Just helps you separate data and just gives it a nicer flow sometimes for the people filling out the forms, clearer when things are separated. So that's a nice one. Pre-filled webhooks is an interesting one. So I'm going to have to dig a little bit more into this because the pre-filled webhooks feature already existed, but you used to have to go into the settings to do it, and I'm sure that you probably still can. I haven't checked it, but if I just go to settings and go here, dynamic pre-fill webhook. So okay, and it actually says here this feature is now managed through the builder. So what they've done is just basically move the feature from here to here. So what a pre-fill webhook does, and I've kind of mentioned this, I think I did a separate video on this before when the feature first came out. It lets you look up to another system as long as that information is publicly queryable. You can, for example, I think the example I gave before was that you might be able to get bus times or something like that, or flight times, or something that I've looked at here before. I was told that it couldn't be done, but I have actually been able to use this to query data from the CRM. So in theory, you could put in somebody's email address into the field and click search. I'm actually going to show you an example. I've got somewhere here, I have open a article on this. So this is the example they give here, that you put in your student ID and click search. So that, I suppose the main thing about that field is that it has a little search icon, and once you click that, it goes to whatever way you've configured the field. If I go back here, one of the settings is once you've given this field a label, so we could call it student ID, then you would tell it where it needs to go and look up. Now, wherever it's looking up needs to have the functionality which allows another system to go in and connect. And as I said, I was told in the past that it wasn't possible with Zoho CRM, but I got it to work. It wasn't easy, but I did get that to work in the past. The only thing I would say, and the same about the example that they give here, you should be very careful about using this, because in theory we've got student name, student email, category. If you've got another person's student ID or another person's email, if that was their email, you could in theory just go through and look up everyone's. That's Silco 1255, I could look up Silco 1256, 1257, and I could just get everyone's information. So that's probably not a way I would use that. It's difficult to know what the use case is, but I think it's just important to highlight that. So that's what the dynamic webhook field does. That's a whole separate topic. It's something that I've mentioned before. The new one though is this smart scan field, and what this actually allows you to do, well, it's not letting me add it because it's saying that there's no fields that I can put data into. Let's just get rid of these dividers for a second and add in just a plain text field. Let's just do a single line, and now that should work. So if I do smart scan, let's put that at the top. So what it is asking you to do is add an image here. Let's say the example they give is a business card, and I can show you that in a second as well. So you would upload an image, let's say a business card, and from that the system will pull the information that it can read on that business card, like the name, the phone number, the email, that kind of thing. And then on the right hand side here, once it's processed that image and it knows what fields, what data exists in it, it will give you those fields listed here, and it will ask you into which fields in the form do you want that information to go. And the idea here is, let me just go back to the help article. I'm going to go back up here down to AI. And then there's the smart scan. Okay, So let me give you the example. So this is the screen we're on here. I'll zoom in a little as well. So what they're saying here is you upload an image yourself to set it up. So the system has detected from that business card, this is the information. On the right hand side then it's going to ask you, so it knows that there's an email, phone, title, website, name. So it's going to ask you to pick, okay, when you click into that field, it's going to ask you to pick from that list, email, phone, title, and then it's going to ask you to pick which field you want that to go into on your form. In my example form that I was just working on, I only had one field, so only one field would show up there. I think there's an example of that here, yeah. So there you can see how that's all been mapped, and then you would click save, and that has now been added to your form. So that means then when someone goes to fill out your form and they click that field, let's assume they're doing it on a mobile, they can use their camera to take a picture, or they can upload a picture that they already have. It doesn't actually have to be from a camera, but they can upload, let's say, I think there's specific formats, and I think they're image files like JPEG, PNG, and it will scan that, it will process that information. So this is what it will look like. It will process that information and it will populate the fields in your form. If it can't read a piece of information, then it won't fill it out. And also, if for some reason the person doesn't have an image that they can use, then they can still fill out the form manually. So it's just a little extra feature. They're calling it AI. Everything is AI now, I would say. You know, this kind of technology has been around for a long time. Maybe it's enhanced with AI. And they do say when you're setting this up, if I just go back to our screen here, it does say that you should definitely let your customers know, where is it? And let respondents know, it says at the top of this section, and let respondents autofill the form, ensure they are informed that images uploaded in the live form will be processed by AI. So apparently it's being processed by AI. I imagine it's probably Zoho's AI, Zia. And then if we scroll down, I think the other important thing to show, that there's some settings there about that specific, the settings that you can set for that field. If we scroll down, this is the important part. So it is on a credit basis. So I think if you're working with me, you're probably on Zoho 1. So you can see here you've got the maximum amount of credits, 6,000 credits per month. One scan equals 1 credit. I was a bit nervous when I saw that it was a credit-based thing, thinking, okay, they're probably going to make us pay to use it. But if you're on a paid plan, if you're on a Zoho 1 plan, you get the maximum credits. And if you do need to buy more, there is a facility to contact Zoho and to be able to buy more credits. So yeah, that's it. Exciting. It's always good to see something new in Zoho Forms, and I'm looking forward to hearing how everyone is going to be using that.